the Philadelphia 76ers continuously get disrespected by the mainstream media. So let's address that in this video. What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Today, you're talking sports with MG Johnson. Today, we have a 76ers video. So before we get into today's video, make sure you guys hit that like button if you enjoy today's video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, and hit the notification bell so that way you don't miss any video. Also, leave a comment down below your thoughts and opinions on today's topic. Now, let's get right into today's video. So, over the last few years and a lot this year, I've seen a lot of constant disrespect to the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, I know we're not the only team. This year's Utah Jazz team is probably the most disrespected team I've seen in my history of watching any sports team, in my opinion. But today we're going to talk about how the 76ers constantly get downplayed and disrespected by the mainstream media. So first off, I want to get this out of the way. The narrative in the mainstream media that Ben Simmons, him not having a jump shot is impossible for the Sixers to win a championship. And the reason why I feel that's a little bit sliding the Sixers and sliding Ben Simmons is because every time that narrative is pushed out, they want to ignore the fact that what Ben Simmons does great offensively. Ben Simmons is one of the best finishers at the rim when aggressive. When he's driving down the court in transition, and he always at least scores or gets to the free throw line. Now, the free throw shooting is probably the main problem as far as his shooting, but as far as Ben Simmons offensively, he is one of the highest offensive impacts in the NBA, just based off of the fact that he has the highest three-point assist rate to three-point shooters. And what I mean by that is that Ben Simmons last season, and I believe this season again, y'all can fact check me on that, had the most assists to three-point shooters in the NBA. So the fact that he's not shooting jump shots is just, y'all are just ignoring the fact that he doesn't create open three-point jump shots to other offensive players that are on the court. And the fact that Ben Simmons' offensive game as far as finishing at the rim gets so overlooked because he doesn't have a jump shot is just flat out disrespectful. Look, if you're going to criticize a guy for one whole of his game, at least acknowledge the fact that he has other great parts of his game too. And that's just the bottom line when it comes to Ben Simmons in particular, and the fact that the Sixers can't win with him on this team is just, I think that's a little disrespectful, and I think you downplay his other offensive abilities. That's just bad. That's just like, if you were to look at a kid, right, and he has a C in social studies, but he has an A in every single class, and you just say, you know what, you're not a good student because you have a C in social studies. I'm not even going to acknowledge that you have an A in every single class, because that one C makes you not a smart kid. That's what the mainstream media does when they say the Sixers can't win because Ben Simmons doesn't have a jump shot. It's just ridiculous how you guys disrespect the other part of Ben Simmons' game. The next thing I want to bring up is the whole situation that happened. It was last week on ESPN. Now, Rasheed Wallace, NBA champion for the Detroit Pistons, was a part of the big 2004 championship season. Obviously, was famous for the Malice in the Palace whole situation. He went on First Take and he said that the Philadelphia 76ers has the edge over the Brooklyn Nets for him at that moment. And obviously, you know, the mainstream media being what they do and how they hype up the Brooklyn Nets, you know, Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman were very, very, very surprised. And they were like, you know what, like how? And he like explained himself. But when it was Max Kellerman's turn to talk, he brought up, you know what, Rasheed Wallace, you were a part of one of the greatest defensive teams of all time with the 2004 Detroit Pistons. But you know what? We're just going to forget about defense, because you know what? The Brooklyn Nets have one of the best offenses I've ever seen. And that's basically the only reason why. And Max Kellerman is not the only one that's guilty of this, but people just bring up offense, 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 offense. And yes, the Brooklyn Nets have a great offense, but it's two sides to the game. So the fact that you choose the Brooklyn Nets when they only play great on one side of the court and they're mediocre on the other side of the court is just insane. That's not only disrespecting the Sixers for the effort that the Sixers give on both ends of the floor, offensive and defensively, but that's disrespecting the game of basketball that some people in the mainstream media just seem to forget the fact that defense matters. Defense wins you championships. And I know that's such a cliche statement, oh, defense wins championships, but it's just the complete facts. Defense wins you championships. If you don't have a good defensive team, you will not have success when the big moments come because you won't be able to stop a thing. You can't stop a fly shooing in your house. Like the fact that people in the mainstream media constantly disrespects the defensive side of the game and disrespects the offensive and defensive effort that the Sixers give every night is just flat out disrespectful. And as far as and another thing I want to bring up too, as far as the mainstream media just guaranteeing or are, just keep promoting that the Nets are the favorites and the Nets are going to make the finals. Well, the Brooklyn Nets, first off, have no chemistry because not all of their three players have played more than 10 games together. Like, how are you going to just crown a team as the NBA champions? And this is not even disrespect to only the Sixers. This is disrespect to the whole NBA. You're crowning the Brooklyn Nets as champions when they don't play defense and their three stars haven't played in more than 10 games together. They don't know when the big moments come who's going to hit the last shot. Both of those three guys have pretty big egos when it comes to their shot taking ability. So who's going to fight over who's going to take the last shot? Who is going to be what role in the big game? Because all three of those guys, like I said, want to take big shots. James Harden in the playoffs, even though he's failed, he's taking big shots. Kyrie hit one of the biggest shots in NBA history in the 2016 finals. Kevin Durant, he's known for his shot-making ability. So the fact that you're going to crown them as champions and you don't even know how their chemistry is going to work in big moments and you don't even know if they're going to play average defense at best is just disrespectful. Like I said, when you have a team like the 76ers, when you have other teams in the Western Conference that flat out just get disrespected, man. I'm just tired of the Sixers getting disrespected and getting overlooked by offensive teams in the Brooklyn Nets. I also shout out to Tobias Harris for having that chip on his shoulder that he didn't get in the All-Star game. He feels like he was disrespected. And the last thing I want to bring up, and I know this is a big debate in the NBA world, but the whole Embiid and Jokic debate, the fact that people just always bring up offensive stats and just forget defense, that defense doesn't matter, that Nikola Jokic has this offensive stat and this offensive stat and this offensive stat, you're just gonna disrespect the defensive side of the game again, and you're disrespecting the effort that the Sixers give and that Joel Embiid gives on the defensive end. It's cool to have all these offensive numbers, but when you're not acknowledging the defensive part of the game and how great the Sixers are on defense, is just flat out disrespectful. And look, I'm not asking for these mainstream media members or these Sixers haters to respect us now. No, keep disrespecting us. And guess what? If we win the title this year or if we defeat the Brooklyn Nets this season, I don't want any praise from the mainstream media. I don't want any praise from people that were doubting us. Because guess what? You were disrespecting the 76ers all season, the effort that we gave all season, and the fact that we put in this much effort to get to the 1 seed and that we constantly get disrespected by the mainstream media, and the fact that we play defense is like somewhat of a bad thing now in the mainstream media is just flat out disrespect. So I don't want any respect anymore. I just want to address the disrespect that the Sixers give by the media. And I'll also, in a video coming up soon, I'll address the Utah Jazz disrespect because that's another team that I kind of want to talk about as far as being disrespected. But that'll be in the next few videos down the line. So make sure y'all hit the notification bell so y'all don't miss that. Make sure you hit the like button. Comment down below if you're new. Subscribe to the channel. It's your boy MG Nas. Until next time, I am out. Peace.